Hi, my name is Valerie, and I met Jesus when I was a university student. And how that happened was, I suppose, I was brought up in a normal home like most people in Ireland. We were a Catholic family, and life was fairly good, but there were problems in the family that as a child you don't understand. So I suppose I was probably quite introspective as a child and used to try and think about things, and I thought I was the only one. I thought I was a bit of a weird child in some ways. It's only later on when I started to talk to friends I realised a lot of these other people, a lot of my friends had the same questions like, what's life about? What's the future going to be? How do I get through life and be happy, and all of those things. So I used to think about all of those things growing up as a child, and obviously I knew a little bit about Jesus from going to church as a child as well, so I knew who Jesus was, I knew about God a little bit. I always felt that God was very far away and that I was very small, and I never knew kind of how I could connect with God. And then when I was in university, I met a girlfriend in particular who started telling me about Jesus, and it was amazing that here was somebody who talked about Jesus like he was a real living person, which to me was amazing, and I was attracted by that because I felt I didn't know him in that way. And I started reading the Bible because she gave me a New Testament, and I met others who again were talking a little bit about Jesus. So I began to read the New Testament myself. I was advised to start in John's Gospel, which I did, and that was very good advice. And my mind was just blown away with the statements Jesus made about himself. And anyway, I got to John chapter 4 one night, and I started reading the story of the woman at the well. And she was a woman who the village didn't really trust very much because she had had lots of relationships with different men, and obviously in those days it was not acceptable, and so she used to go on her own to draw water during the hot part of the day. And Jesus started talking to her, and she started bringing up religious arguments with Jesus, and one of the things she said to him was, when the Messiah comes, he'll lead us into all truth. And then Jesus made this statement, and he said to her, I who speak to you am he. And it was like as if the words jumped off the page, and it's like as if Jesus himself was in the room saying to me, I'm the one you're looking for, I'm the Messiah. And a few days later, I prayed, and I just said, Jesus, I don't know you personally. I know I'm a sinner. I know there are things in my life that aren't right. And it's not necessarily that I'm doing terrible things. I just know my heart isn't right. That there's, that if I were to suddenly die and stand before the judgment seat of God, because somewhere I knew that was going to happen to me at some stage, that none of my arguments for myself would stand up. And even though I didn't understand lots of things, I said, Jesus, forgive me for my sin. Come into my life, make yourself known to me. And it's like as if a light bulb went on. And from that time, that's over 40 years ago, 44 years ago, I think, Jesus has been a real living person to me. And I know he's with me every day. I know he has forgiven my sin, which is to me like the greatest gift imaginable, that all of the things that were wrong with my life, that as a gift of grace, he has wipe them away. And even when I still make mistakes, as I do, my attitude mightn't be right some days, and I have to forgive people, and I have to forgive myself for things, and that gift of salvation is amazing, and I didn't have to do anything for it except accept it and repent of my sin. And to me that is just amazing.